Good afternoon. My name is Jackman, better known as Nesquick and Chill, and today I have with me the jungler from Rift Dragons, something corny. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I woke up like half an hour ago, maybe, and so this will be my first activity of the day.
Very good, very good. And also, I have joining me former support Walkie. How are you doing today?
I'm also doing pretty well. I woke up at 5 a.m., but I'm doing pretty well. That's just the life of the walkie,
The
Pretty
walkie.
sweet.
the
Good, good,
walkie.
good to know. Today, I'm going to be asking y'all maybe 5 or 6 questions. Let's get right into it. And for the first question, How did your guys' team eventually come together, and how do y'all fit into the game?
Oh boy. Do you want to start? I guess I should start because.
I can do like the
Well,
pre-walkie era, and then you can do like what your plans are
oh
after,
no.
like with the new iteration.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'll work.
So we've been together for like before, like the core of us, like Okina, me, Corny, and Dark. Those four. We were together for 7, 8 months before everything kind of broke down, and Okina left, and I left, and Dark left. But the way we really played was back when Okina was a top laner. We played heavily through bot, and it was mainly through like the funnel system that is like my shot calling.
Okay.
And so whenever I play the game, I like having a lot of like dictation on like the pace, where we're trying to fight, how we're trying to fight, and those kind of things. And as we kept progressing and playing different leagues, we won aerial, and then we were doing really well in duo. It became a limiting agent where like I think personally it was a huge crutch where like if I'm not playing well, if my grasp on the meta is bad, or if we're fundamentally having issues in drafts, we're really fucked. And so that's part of the reason why I left, because I thought that we wouldn't win duo with the way we were playing, just through the have walkie shot call everything and then get shit done through that. And then with me leaving, I think, and this corner can take over on this one, a lot's gonna probably change with the way we're playing.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't we haven't gotten a lot of practice in since our ADC went on vacation, but we did get a couple of games, and so far it seems like the map has opened up quite a bit compared to what we used to play with. Like everything, like my pathing was always dictated around like what my lanes wanted, and so if they called for something, I would begin pathing that way. I
Okay.
would never try to say, okay, I'm gonna do this. It would always be, oh, this wave's gonna crash, or I can get a good gank off in a minute, and I'll be like, okay, I'll path there in a minute. And so, but I'm hoping that we can show some variance with the new roster, but we haven't really gotten a lot of practice in. So
Okay.
I don't know how that's gonna go.
Follow up on that question. Y'all were talking about some shot calling. I'm gonna run right into it and be asked who does a lot of the shot calling, objective focus slash team decisions in the game, as you previously stated. Want to follow up more on that?
Yeah. Uh, at first, like what Fernando was saying, at first it was a lot of him. He would dictate a lot of our pacing in the game, and of course, usually the jungler will have some input because you're pathing a certain way, or where you're starting. You'll say what that is going to lead to, but we haven't really figured it out. It's probably going to be the support again
Okay.
when the sort of newer roster comes together, and I hope that is fine. Like, cause
Mhm.
I'm gonna be also shot calling as a jungler, and then our support. Oh hey, we do get a cameo.
Dog interview. Pog.
Dog interview.
It's Peach.
It's Peach.
Look at the camera. There we go.
Oh
Very interesting. Very interesting. I know it
yeah.
changes from team to team and everything. Waki, do you have anything else to fill in? Are you gonna try to coach a little bit on shot calling, or
I think so. I've gone through this like theory a couple times, like talking to other supports and other players.
Mhm.
I think support is the best role in fives because you're able to be a really good mitigator and mediator for like the game,
Okay.
right? Not to say like the role is the easiest mechanically or like fundamentally, but like the way you play with vision, the way you play with the setup of bot prio specifically, with the way the current meta plays out, what support sees and can see is really important to the success of a team, right? So my ability to gauge supports from duo, right? And I had a whole like history of thinking everyone was shit and there wasn't any good supports until like Kyrie started playing really well, Pablo started playing really well,
Mhm.
right? Until those players started stepping up and really showcasing like, wow, they actually understand vision, they understand how to pressure objectives, they understand where the pressure is going to be to elevate their gameplay to win, right?
Yeah.
That kind of changed a lot. So I think good teams tend to have their supports be very vocal, because good teams tend to have the support have the highest chance to recognize the game state and recognize
Yep.
how to win.
Yep. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. On your team, who would y'all consider your team's MVP this season?
Oh,
I'd say me, unironically.
that
Go for it.
hubris, yeah.
What's
But
your reason?
I think a different support gets Dragons to a lot worse of a record. Um, I think my second MVP probably would be Corny, not just because he's in the call, but I think consistency of the dynamic that we have and how much dependency I have to him actually execute is really high. So like I can shot call shit and I can say like let's do this, but it takes a certain kind of individual to actually recognize how to do that and actually succeed with like engages or how to kite back or who they're gonna ult or whatever they're gonna do, right? And that metric of success is consistently found. And I've played another five team through Corny, and so if you watch a lot of our games, like especially I mean, there's that one game where fucking Corny gets like a 4-man Gragas belly slam, like stuff like that is what makes him a really special player.
Okay. What about you, Corny?
yeah, honestly, I'd have to give the MVP this season to Aki too. mainly
Ooh.
be, mainly because of just where he led us to. Like he's an in-game leader for us, and he shot calls, and we recognize that he understands the game a lot better than a lot of us do, and so we work off that really well. And I think that just shows like how insane of a player he is, because he's able to both play his role like mechanically
Mhm.
and set our marksman, our ADC, up for success, and he's also to look at the rest of the map and say, if we do this, this is how like we can win. This is our win condition.
Free
Gotcha.
agent, by the way, free agent walkie.
Current free
For
agent
anyone
Walkie,
anyone
Rift
looking
Dragon
for a
MVP.
Not for playoffs at least, but after
yes
playoffs, yeah,
after maybe next season
definitely
duo. If anyone wants to have their hand
definitely
held,
pick
I
him
can do
up.
that pretty well.
Yeah.
All right. What are some thoughts on how the season went for you guys? Did you perform better than what you expected or worse?
I think
Uh,
worse.
Worse.
I don't think there's any game that we lost that we didn't think we were gonna win. I
Okay.
think I mean not to say like the hubris is like we were gonna go 18-0. Now our expectation was to go 18-0, but going into each game, including the PSB game we lost, I never felt like I thought we were gonna lose, right?
Okay.
So whether it was Aether or TDS or PSW when I wasn't there, right? I always went into those games thinking we'd win, and I went into Duo thinking we'd win, right? And so even finishing second in Dragon Division actually kind of stings because I know how much better we should be than that. But then just a compilation of three things, and I don't mean to like make these assertions because I don't think it's that like cutthroat,
Mhm.
but I think an issue with mechanics and like just like drive that our team had really kind of hurt us, right? We start off really well, but because of COVID-19 and a lot of our players weren't able to scrim as much,
Mm.
a lot of the things that we wanted to do and practice we couldn't do because of just limitation on time. And then other teams got better and we stagnated. And so even though we were playing well, even against PSB, like our first couple losses were more just bad drafts.
Mm.
But then with me leaving, it was more like I didn't think we were as great as we were. So coming into the season, I thought we'd win. Leaving the season, especially with my departure, I think we can now win again, right? I thought when I was on team, I didn't think we'd win, but now that I've left and Inter and all our other subs, all our Glaive players joined,
Mhm.
uh, our recognition of success is a lot higher.
Okay.
yeah, I think after because we won Aerial League, and I think after that we sort of saw and we figured out that we could be better. There's like a chance for us to be better,
Mhm.
and so we worked on that. And I think we started the season off really well. We dropped a game to Aether because our coach like AFK'd on us for a little bit, and we just weren't prepared for the next game. And so also it's a trap game. Like we didn't really prepare for Aether at all, and so that's on us. That's just hubris, believing that we were better, and you shouldn't really do that. And then PSB, another draft game, and like after those two losses, you're like, okay, we should theoretically shouldn't lose any more games after those two. That was our core belief, and we didn't for a while. And then, well, shit happens, and you do lose. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of that did stems from COVID-19, and specifically our top laner. He had to move back in with his parents for a little bit,
Oh
for like
dang.
2 3 months, and so like he wasn't able to put in the time to play League of Legends as much, or like a
Dang.
month or two. I don't remember how long exactly, but he wasn't able to put in as much time in the game as we did, and our mid laner just lost like the fun of the game, and I think that's a huge thing. Like if you just lose the drive to play, then it's really hard to find that groove back for fives.
Mhm.
And so after those two losses, which definitely stung, leaving us in second, the two players that, well, I'm not sure. Waki just lost his drive. So did Dark. I guess they both sort of lost that competitive drive that
Mhm.
made them want to play League.
Mhm.
And so we just needed to pick up a couple players, and our ADC, being a part of the Glaive organization, just had a couple friends that he believed would be good fits for us. And so we picked them up, and we'll see where that goes.
Oh,
And I hope that Nano and I are able to keep our Dragon synergy, and then our bot half of the map can keep their Glaive synergy, and maybe something special will happen. Who knows?
alrighty. Let's add some spice to this interview. As you know, I type a lot in Duo, and I find slight banter pretty fun. Um, were any teams easier to beat than you initially thought?
Oh boy. I think. Well, I think we found, or personally, I found a lot of specifically junglers were a lot worse than I believed they were. Like I thought I would be bottom of the barrel jungler like in this league. I honestly believe that because
Mhm.
I looked at most of the rosters. Most of them are like mid high plat. I'm like, I'm gonna get out jungled like every game. But a lot of the times it felt like I would do my job better than they were doing their job.
Mhm.
But it would be like a lot harder to perform at certain stages. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I think the only team thought was like a lot easier was PSB because
Really.
I think we held in there for a while, like a lot longer than I initially expected with the way our draft went.
Mhm.
And I think like if you were to change a couple of the champions, we probably could have won that game. Like not handedly, of course, because I think PSB is really good.
Mhm.
And I had the belief that they weren't as good as everyone thought they were, but they were definitely not as good as I thought they were, but they were better than us. So
Okay.
I think that's really the only team.
But you, Waki.
I can kind of reword what Corny said uh, about PSB at least, where I think they definitely bleed, right? I think there's actually pretty significance where me and Corny probably both believe that we're better than our respective counterparts within that team, right? So I think Corny's as good, if not better than Sheer. I think I'm better than Omari or whoever else they might play, right? The issue that we ran into against them was, I mean, Shrimp had an amazing game and Totemax does Totemax things, right? And so I think if we had at that point, if we already had Toast, we win that game most likely. I think if we just didn't overthink it, where like we were prepping shit for draft and overthinking things, hey dog, and and really trying to like find how to beat PSB. If we just played
Mhm.
our game, we'd win. That's kind of how I'd put it at least. And then I know they're not in the league anymore, but we thought EQS was supposed to be good because we played in league with them. They came second, we came first. I had some beef with Jules and Zimph because I don't think they're really good. And then they showcase they really aren't good. Once their millionaire fucking gets grounded, they go 0 and fucking 12. I mean, there's no fucking better way of like showcasing your shit than like going 0 and 12. Um, I thought it wasn't until the Aether game that I actually felt pressured with the way I was playing the game. Even against some of the better teams, even the losses we had, for the most part, it didn't feel like I was being restricted on my ability to play support, right? Where the things that I can do, like set up vision, set up plays, um, look for engages, like those things, I felt I actually just like outclassed. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Aether, where like they played Bard into my Zillion, and I just got like in shambles. I couldn't do shit.
Mhm.
And so that was probably the one instance where like that was probably the only time the whole season that I thought there was actually a support gap within teams we played.
Okay. Interesting. interesting little flame here towards PSB, and as you all know, we knocked them off of their high stool. I'm gonna add off to a little topic off of that and say, I mean, if we didn't end the game when we first time we played them and not let Caston get to 16, I think we would have ended them a lot sooner, as well. But as the cookie crumbles, Caston's broken. I got two more questions for y'all,
Get busted.
and they're one's spicy and one's whatever y'all want to do with it. On your team, who flames the most, and who gets flamed the most?
Oh
Uh,
my god, I want to start this one. Because I want Walkie's answer to be the spicy one. Who flames the most? God, I want to say it's Walkie, and just because he has this, I shouldn't say he has this. Uh, I've seen like how good he is and how good he can be, and he showcases that a lot. He'll say what's on his mind about whatever is happening, and if you ever watch any of his VOD reviews with his players, he just flames the shit out of them every single time. But it helps. Like he understands the game so well that he's like, "Why are you doing this? This is a stupid idea. Here's what you should be doing."
Okay.
And who gets flamed the most? I would say me. Just because of the stupid shit I sometimes say in game or in chat or anything. Like
Mhm.
people say like what the fuck, corny? Like what's up with that? Or I'll make a call like, no, that's just plain wrong. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Alrighty,
you
Walkie,
had some
what's your input?
pretty bad takes in the past in some of our games, Corny. I mean, I hate to echo it, but that's kind of how I'd put it as well. To make a joke out of this, I kind of made Okina go boom, right? I think the only reason he left is because I'm too headstrong, and I want to win bad enough that like I come off in a very not douchey but upfront manner.
Okay.
And so like if someone's not driven to win and they already feel kind of ousted, they're gonna leave, right? And that's kind of what happened with Okina. Um, even with whenever we lost a game, I think I was typically okay with our losses. Like I remember basically the two losses. Like I'm like we played fine. Like we fucked up in draft or we couldn't do this or. But my flame more comes from like stupid takes. So if I remember one game we were playing flex and Corny, I was playing AD carry as I do sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Um, and Corny had a Baron call and I was playing AD carry, so I'm not like focused on like macro and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I look at the items, I'm like, we don't take this. And he's like, yes, we do. And then we lost that fucking flex game because of that one bad call. And I still hold him accountable for making me lose my flex LP. I could be gold, but I'm not. I'm fucking silver one, so I'm flex.
The
So
juicy flex here.
I'm gold 3, motherfucker. So
yeah, that's the issue. Like you're holding me back. Um, I think the person who probably got flamed the most probably was Okina though, as well when he was there, just because. I mean, he's a really nice person, and that's kind of how I'll leave it. You can extrapolate the rest, but he's a nice person.
Of course.
His game is he's a nice person. We'll say that, and that's kind of how I'll leave it.
Ready. Lastly, is there anything y'all want to say before ending?
oh boy, I got nothing. Hopefully Rift can show up on the days that we do play because I know TDS wants a schedule for the 29th, but Rift can't play that day. And maybe we have to play that day and we have subs, so
Yeah, I want to
we'll see.
actually bring up something real quick. We actually have to schedule for the 31st, and because our jungler's not even going to be here.
Mhm.
So I think Duo should push it back a week. My personal ability because
Oh
just
yeah.
free up a full week of space.
Yeah.
But that's just my take. I don't know what they'll do, but it kind of sucks not having
To
a
kind of point out
first
the
seed,
very
second
obvious,
seed play. You
yeah,
know.
to bust out the conspiracy theory in me. Duo esports and pawn sacrifice tend to go hand in hand, and so if pawn sacrifice wants to play this week, then that's probably good. Like I guarantee you, if Pawn Sacrifice was having people on vacation or people out of state or something like that, the game is probably gonna move back a week. It's a hot take, but I could almost see that happening, almost for sure.
I like the
Um,
hot takes here.
and then my little takeaway from this interview is, well, I'll do a three-parter. So,
Okay.
thank you for the interview.
Of course. Thank you.
It's
Thank you
been a
for joining
blast.
me.
I really appreciate having one.
Uh-oh.
But
Oh, we're
um,
back. Okay.
I might still play a game just as a sub, but I don't think I will have to. but if I do, you might see me in a game. But I think this is my last hurrah, so I appreciate the
No
opportunity.
problem.
The second part is a thank you to my team. I know that some of you probably seem let down by me, but I'm proud of what we did, and I'm very happy with the success we did have. We won a league. We've won plenty of clash tournaments. We ended up second in a really hard division, a hard league. So I'm very proud of our accomplishments there. And then as the takeaway of the day, I think I played in 2 leagues, and then Duo was my third one. And Duo was by far my favorite league to play in. Whether it is because the players are so easily accessible, and I can flame everyone, and we all know each other, and I can flame the tank Ezreal and whatever
Oh,
like that comes up.
come
Um,
on.
that's
It's
that
good.
makes things a lot more fun, right? So if it's like a detached lead with bad management and bad leadership, I don't give a fuck about like who I'm playing against. I just play my games, I win my championship money and walk past it, right? But with Duo, like I actually had genuine interest in like the rest of the games. I actually would see how people were playing. I would actually see people in like their clan and solo queue, and I track how people were doing in scrims and stuff. And I think that's a really cool like community thing that I'm really
Mhm.
grateful for and grateful to be part of.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all joining me and setting this up. First one to contact me, not make this a big pain in my ass. But
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all
Problem.
playing and not flaming me too hard for shit I do in my first interview and all that. So I appreciate y'all. And with that, peace out.
Goodbye.
Deuces.
Oh.